Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video. It's one of those rare occasions where we have a midday update, so I'm coming at you. I'm recording this like 10 minutes before I'm posting it, so let's get right into it. Elon Musk has announced he's starting a new political party in a pretty surprising turn of events. It's called the America Party, and the argument that Elon is making is that both the Democratic Party and the Republican Party have been guilty of bankrupting the American people with what he calls waste and graft. And this is pretty consistent with what he's been saying. The whole Doge thing was to create government efficiency and to create, or to reduce the deficit, which Elon has been a big proponent of. And he does not seem satisfied with the Trump administration's approach to this. So he's leaving. He's starting a new political party, and he just announced it like an hour and a half ago. He announced it at 3:46 p.m. Eastern time today. And so let's talk about this just very briefly. I have really two main thoughts. The first of which I think is maybe good for Republicans. The second of which is maybe good for Democrats. So my first thought is that the impacts of this are going to be negligible. And I think a lot of Democrats are going to be excited to hear this because they think, oh, this could be a spoiler. This could be a party kind of like, that takes away votes from Republicans. And in our American system, whoever gets the most votes wins, unless you're in a ranked choice voting state. But like Alaska maybe, but like in a state like say Michigan or Pennsylvania or North Carolina, whoever gets the most votes wins. And those are competitive swing states across the country where if the America Party even got 5% of the vote, that could really hurt Republican prospects. So it makes sense Democrats are excited about this, but I think not so fast. We have to remember that broadly, third parties have been a little overstated since 2016. They have cost, I think, most parties very few races. There have been a couple House races here and there, but it's really been they've been kind of a non-factor since 2016. And I don't think that's going to change, especially because Elon has had a pretty public feud with Trump since really a month ago. And the level of trust Republicans have in him is now lower than it was, say, at the beginning of this year when he wound up being more popular. So in general, I think the Trump base is still strong. I think, I'm open to being wrong on this, but I don't think that in a competitive Senate election, Republicans are going to defect even a little bit to this party. I think this party, will struggle to get votes in general because this is a pretty narrow message. It's just about government waste and, the deficit, which obviously isn't more conservative. Fundamentally, it's a conservative, fiscal qualm to have, but it isn't necessarily one that I think is so salient that it's going to cost the Republicans in the Trump era. Now, my second thought, which is a little better for Democrats, is that Democrats can use this as an opening, and they can use it as an opening to challenge Republicans in deep red states. Now, the reason Republicans can't really do this in blue states like, say, Vermont or Oregon or Washington or Hawaii or, Massachusetts, is because this is, again, a conservative idea that we should reduce the deficit. I don't think that voters in Massachusetts are craving like, oh, we really need to elect candidates who are going to reduce the deficit. They might like it, but I don't think it's, like I said, salient enough, especially in progressive areas like Massachusetts, to like vote on this and to, send out Democrats. But when you have a conservative issue, maybe in a conservative state like Tennessee or Montana or Nebraska, right? Maybe you can run a campaign focused on that and attack Republicans, or at least make a race competitive. Dan Osborne did this in 2024. He was an independent. He ran against an incumbent Republican who'd won pretty decisively previously. And Osborne was able to win, or was not able to win, but was able to do really well. He got, 47% of the vote because he attacked Fisher in many ways from the right. He said she was not conservative enough. He portrayed himself as the more conservative choice in many of his advertisements. So overall, what we saw was pretty clear. Voters are open to, not voting for Republicans in races where Republicans are successfully portrayed as being insufficiently conservative or insufficiently Trumpian to an extent. So maybe Democrats can snag the nominations of the America Party in states like Nebraska or, red states like that, and they run conservative campaigns and maybe can make these races competitive. I'm not saying they're going to win a Senate race in Nebraska or they're going to win a House seat in Montana because of this, but I do think that there's something to be said here, and I think that at the very least, Democrats could force Republicans to spend money in places they normally don't spend it. So those are just my overall thoughts. I'll talk more about this in the coming days, but pretty big development, and I'm excited to keep you all posted. So with that, I will talk to you all very soon, and I want you all to let me know if you think this is going to have a huge impact on our elections going forward.